You know, it's 5 a.m. I wake up, I check my phone. First thing I see is an Instagram reel from ReaperDoc talking about this new track that is just an absolute work of art. I then load up Discord. I see the man that made said work of art in my DMs, telling me to check it out. I load the track in my game. My jaw hits the floor. Bars, by the way. Wow, this is Lighthouse by Itchy, and it looks absolutely incredible. The scale of all this and how pretty it looks is unreal. So this has two tracks, I believe. One is just called Lighthouse, which I believe consists of this like main track that you see spiraling around here. Probably goes down onto the beach, onto the shoreline there also. But then there is also one called Lighthouse Trail. And I thought that it was being like, right, that's massive over there, that would be it. But if we fly all the way over to the left side here, there's also the trail going in amongst all of these various trees. So I don't know just how long that trail's going to be. So what I will do, because I know more people are here for the motocross side of things than enduro/trail side of things, we'll do the motocross first. We'll do a handful of laps, and then after that, I will give the actual trail one long attempt and see how long it takes. So this could be a long video, so you boys better buckle up. And I can already tell you, I love this track before even setting wheels on it. I love tracks that integrate the environment as part of the riding experience as well, and it looks like this does exactly that. So to Itchy, without even setting wheels on the track, absolutely beautiful. Breathtaking, I might even say, and well done. Let's hope that the ride is just as fun as the visuals. You guys have just missed such a funny mini crash out from me. It's absolutely unreal. I was trying to show off. There's a downhill on this track, and I was like, oh, if you get this a little bit wrong, you're going to go flying into the abyss. So I tried going near the edge to show you what was on the other side, and it was going through one of these orange banners that you see marking the track. But Itchy had been smart, and because he could see people falling off the edge of the track there, he put collisions on them. And because MX Bikes is a beautiful game with no issues whatsoever, as soon as my front wheel hit those collisions, it decided that it wanted to crash my game. And I had a little crash out over it. But I then looked to my left at my OBS and realised that I had not pressed the recording button again. After recording the intro, I stop it and then I load into track and then I go, and so that no mini crash out for you guys. But I now have about 40 seconds worth of track experience to use to my advantage, and we'll ride around here and see how it goes. So with Reaper's Instagram video that I saw when my eyes first opened, so when they were still little slits and I could barely see anything and it was blurry, I saw kind of like the sandy section down by like the caves at the very bottom of the track. So when we get there, I should kind of know what's coming up. But until then, I've got the track map hidden underneath my face cam. So hopefully it's not too distracting for you guys. I just like having less clutter on the screen in the videos now. But I like still being able to see it. So if you keep seeing me keep peeking up there to the top corner, it's not me checking my wall hacks or my UAV constantly. It is purely me having a look to see where the track goes. And it's actually quite, what's the word? Like, it's not as wide open as I thought it would be for a track of this scale. It does kind of weave back and forth a little bit. It's got a bit of chop here and there as well. Some ruts you have to get slotted into. So right here, this is where I was like, oh, if you get this down a little bit wrong, go flying off the side of the track, you're doomed. Don't touch them orange markers on the side, because then your game will just crash, because MX Bikes is so amazing. One of the reasons that you can't really get any good Krackenberg lobbies done anymore is how the game handles collisions and crashes overall. But on the plus side, in the development side of things of the game right now, there is a test build of MX Bikes that is in the works, which should hopefully reduce the amount of game crashes that you get from hitting obstacles and objects. And apparently, I mean, I don't know how true this is, because, I mean, we've had this issue for... It's been worse recently than it has for a long time. Apparently it's tied to the way that the OEM bikes modify the chassis of the bikes themselves, like from the stock game, causing the game to crash more when you hit objects. So it's all very, let's say, smarter talk than I have any idea about, because I'm just a consumer, just like you guys. I just hop on and play the game. I don't actually see everything that goes into it. I don't know all of the correct terminology and that. But if that does fix the game crashing a little bit, I'll be a very happy man. Obviously, for completely biased reasons. I just love getting full Krackenberg lobbies on the go and having more than 2 people be able to finish, because the other 38 people that started the races games have crashed. It's got to the point now where we just say, oh, it's a mechanical, like the bike just gave up on you. And I don't know how it doesn't seem to be like an equal amount of crashing probability across the board, because it happens to me occasionally, but I seem to get the most finishes in. I don't know whether that's just because I'm hitting the least amount of objects, because I'm probably the biggest Krakenberg tryhard on the entire planet, so I hit the least things, I know where everything is, but it does seem that other people have less luck. I don't know if it's like PC based or performance based or this, that and the other, but yeah, it's not ideal. It needs to be fixed, essentially. And there you go, there is one lap done on the track already, and I expected the track to be longer than it was, because some of Itchy's works in the past of tracks that have had a similar sort of scaling and vibe, like a grandiose kind of vibe where everything, like just the whole track, the environment's huge. We've had one from him before that the lap time was close to 3 minutes, and that did not feel like a 3-minute lap whatsoever. What I will do, I've not got my timing up on the screen for some stupid reason, I will, when I hit that exact same finish line I recognise where I first pulled on the track, I'll go and I'll turn it back on and see what the lap times are looking like. But already, I really, really like the vibe and the flow of this. It's just when tracks use the environment to their advantage, it's so, so nice to see. I had no idea what sort of programs Itchy uses when track building, but there's got to be so much trial and error and testing and back and forth to make something like this. And getting it working with the elevation as well has got to be just as tricky. And I do have a bit of a soft spot for him, because when I was making my Moto 101 track, I needed a Portaloo model, and he very kindly sent me his, and I just tweaked it ever so slightly for my own use. I mean, I'm a severe skill issue when it comes to modelling things in Blender. I usually have to take something that somebody else has previously made and then adjust it to my own needs and specifications. Me trying to build something from scratch, it never goes well whatsoever at all. And right now, I mean, I'm surprised, but I mean, I've not ridden the Yamaha in a hot second. You know, I've kind of been switching back and forth recently between KTM and then Fantic, but kind of flowing on the Blue Machine right now. Maybe I need to rock up to SMX on this. That might be the way to go. And you should... What's the day today? You should be seeing this Wednesday, I believe. So we should only have, 2 more days until SMX starts. So if you're excited to see some SMX action, then by all means slide into the live stream that will happen on Friday. Exactly the same time as the usual aerial streams have been, which I believe... I want to say like 3 PM EST for you guys is when the streams will start. And then in terms of Europe, it's like 8 PM for me, 9 PM for most of the rest of Europe. And if you're anywhere else in the world, I apologise. I do not know the time zone off the top of my head, so you might have to do a little bit of searching on that yourself. But this is a little bit off topic, but ever since I won that second moto at Spuds Creek the other day for the last round of aerial, I've kind of been enjoying the game again. It's so weird how my mood is affected by my performance. And I try going into rounds and just not caring too much about where I end up, but I've just got that competitive aspect to me where I want to do well, and then the fact that like my eyes are giving up on me, the reaction times are slowing down just as I'm getting older and older. It doesn't bode well for me for competing. It makes it more and more difficult. I might have to try and contact the local pharmacy, see what the going rate is for some Adderall, because I'm sure there's some kids all over that these days. Because my god, I'll go to a round and I'll feel good for a day, and then I'll check timing and I'm still 3 seconds off the top boys. I'm just like, what's going on here? I'm convinced I've gone around 95% of this track without chopping the throttle. How are they getting 3 entire seconds? It's unreal. But I need to accept that I think my time of winning a lot has gone. If I can still get just one win all the time, I'll be very, very happy. If we take the last 5 years, every Supercross and motocross round of the last 5 years I've competed in, since I started competing, I have had at least 1 win. That used to be at least 1 overall, so whether that's a Supercross main event or an outdoors overall, I could have got 2 too, but I still won, you know, depending on where other people got. This is the first year that hasn't happened, but I can kind of scumbag it and still say that I got at least 1 win because I just won 1 moto. And it's just the competition's gone up and up. You know, as the game's grown, when I was dominant on the game, there was only 1,000 or so daily players. Now we're up to between 4,000 and 5,000. So when the player base increases 4 or 5-fold, you're always going to have tougher competition. It's just the natural progression of things. And I'm very excited when MTG releases to be on an even playing field and everybody to be starting essentially on 0 hours. I think that's going to be really, really exciting to see not only who picks up the game the quickest, but also who is the least employed and can put the most amount of hours in possible. I imagine I'm probably going to be somewhere around like the 100-hour mark in the first 2 weeks. That's what happened when I was playing MX Bikes and learning it for the first time. Probably be the same with MTG. I plan on live streaming most of it. I want people to just see the progression and improvements over time. I think it's going to be a really exciting time for the gaming community in general, and I'm hoping that it lives up to the hype that it has been building over the last year or so. Right, we are now starting... I want to make sure I go the right direction here, and I think it's the way that I'm coming from. Yes, here we go. So, we are going to be starting the Lighthouse Trail now, and I have no clue how long this is going to be, but buckle up, I guess. I'm probably not going to cut it at all. I'll do it in its entirety, and I'm happy that he's just gone through the effort of doing that, because he could have rested on his laurels and just done the main motocross track and that's it. But it's just a nice little extra detail, I think, that gets you more involved in the track as a whole. And I think you jump all the way up and over that berm. Okay, good to know. There'll be some parts here where I'm just kind of slow and taking my time because I need to know fully where the track is going. But once I mean, I'm not going to do more than one lap around here, but if that was the case, then you'd be able to go a little bit faster. So it's nice that he's incorporating extra jump lines and round to the right. Okay. There is music inside this. Oh, actually, I completely forgot to show you. Hang on, where is it? Look, right, so right here, there is a quarter of a QR code. So I completely forgot. I saw it when I was flying around in the introduction. I imagine if you find 4 of these, there might be something quite interesting. So I might do that off camera. I might have a fly around in the replay mode and see what I can find. But if I don't manage to find them all, because I mean it's a really, really big place, then let me know if you guys manage to find all 4 pieces, and then let me know what it actually is as well. That would be a more important thing. So let me go across this way now. Okay, so you have to kind of keep your eyes open just to see where it goes, but you get an idea from the norms on the ground and the way that the dirt flows, the direction of it. You can see roughly where you need to go. Across the bridge. Now, I know for obviously ease, you wouldn't be able to do that. Imagine how cool it would be if the individual planks there, if there was holes in between them, so you had to hit it almost like whoops, otherwise you'd fall through the ground. I can't imagine the game crashes you'd get if that was the case though, but it's a fun concept. It's a fun idea. I'm really hoping that in the future, let's just say within MTG, God knows, I hope that we have such a solid enough foundation in the game and the game's stability and the physics as well, I suppose, that we can just make whatever we want. There's so many weird and wonderful things, like on the MX Simulator side of things, for example, where I mean there's a football or soccer game mode for MX Simulator in public server. You can just go and ride around, and it's basically like Rocket League but for motorbikes. You can go and do that. Alternatively, you have these like weird wacky maps like Don't Fall, where you can just absolutely send things from 100 feet in the sky and get away with it if in the right place. Have all these weird objects you can ride across and through. And I think that's kind of where Bikes is lacking. It's just the raw infrastructure of the game. It doesn't lend itself well to much customization, and the hoops that these track creators have to jump through in terms of optimization to get these tracks running well is crazy stuff. It really, really is. Which is why, with my negative opinions on how the aerial tracks have raced this year, the actual visuals and the optimization side of things, if you have no idea about building tracks, it's super impressive what they're able to do. Like the way those tracks look for just 300 megabytes of file size is crazy. I mean, I released an arena cross track a very, very long time ago, which is, what, a fifth of the size of it, if that. And that thing was almost a gig with like the stadium and everything included in there. So there's definitely levels to track building. One is like the height map, the next one is getting visuals looking good, and then the third and final one I would say really is optimization, because it's so difficult for these boys to achieve. So I think it's good sometimes to stand back and look at these tracks from an outside perspective and not just go, oh, maybe the motocross track, maybe it'll get a bit boring after a couple of hours worth because it's slightly easy here and there. But it's more so taking in the track as in its entirety. Was it? Hang on. There's a second part of the QR code if anybody was searching for them. So there's one by the lighthouse, and there's one by that bench right there as well. I wonder if he's just dotted them around the trail. or if there are any really, really sneakily hidden ones in like the depths of some sort of cave that you have to try and find. No idea. These rocks, I feel like he's got a dual height map going on here because they don't actually feel like objects. It feels like terrain, which you ride over, which again makes the experience 10 times easier. You're not getting any weird wonky physics at all where the bike just wants to fall over or the game wants to crash. Lovely to see. Worm my way through here. I mean, I've got no clue whatsoever how long this trail is. But I've been recording the trail so far for 5 minutes, so I'm hoping it's like halfway through. Oh, this is going to be a hell of a long video. Nice little, like, log path to go across the ravine there, the creek. I do also like how it makes sense where this trail follows. It's like we go, oh, we follow where the water goes. Oh my god, where do we go here? No, we're not meant... Oh. I'm not... You're not meant to go through there at all. Oh god, what do I do now? How do I get... Oh no. Oh no. Okie. Now, to be fair, that's fair that I went down there by mistake. There's not 100% clear on where I was meant to go. What an absolute amateur I am. You wouldn't think that I consider myself to be the best enduro person in the game, would you? Without trying to hug myself off too hard. But I feel like it's just fact, you know. I've not been dethroned yet. Right, where do we go now? Oh, slow it down. Okay, don't want to fall down there again, so we're going the right way. Just got to be careful. And then I see that little crossing. Follow that. Go all the way across. And then just up through the water, I believe. Yes. I'm looking at the track markers so hard here. I really like this though. It's much of a much slower paced trail than other. Don't fall! Don't fall! Don't fall! Don't fall! No. Yeah, it's a much slower paced trail than other trails we've had in the game, and I'm kind of here for it, to be honest. It does get a little bit techie when you add in some of these slightly off-camber uphills, but there's really not much you can do about that. That's just MX bikes being MX bikes. I think that's something as well that limits people's creativity a lot, is having very limited elevation and what the game likes from a physics perspective. Little hop up and over the highway as well. Lovely. Downside in here. I am starting to think this is going to be a really, really, really long trail. I'm guessing like somewhere around the 10-minute mark, to be honest. Shouldn't be unreal. Actually, we're kind of hooking back again. Is there another... Hang on, I see more benches. Any more QR codes for me? Yes, there's QR code number 3 out of 4. There's only one more. I could generally... I might... You know what? I'm committed to this. I will try and find that 4th and final one, and I will try and show you at the end of the video what that QR code makes up. Because we've had tracks in the past that have done things like that, where you get like a custom helmet to download and things. We've also had other tracks where it's just a complete meme. So I'm curious. I'm curious to see what it actually entails, what it's going to be in the end. And there's not that many tracks that do weird Easter eggy kind of things, but I think it adds to the immersion of the track overall as well. And is that... I think we might be back home. I think we are. This is where I started, wasn't it? At the very beginning. That was the tent that I was in. And then, actually, we check here. Is there a QR code? There's the 4th and final one. So there you go. I'm going to put them together and show you at the very end of the video. Where do I go here? So we're on this bit of track. What direction? I'm completely blind. My God, I'm so sorry. And then that leads us back through to here, which was the beginning. So that was, I want to say about... I reckon you can get that down to 8 minutes if you don't go falling off the edge of the map like I did twice. So really, really good stuff. So thank you very much, Itchy, for that. And yeah, let me just throw up on screen right now whatever that QR code reveals. I'm not going to lie, gamers. I don't know if this is going to work. So I took screenshots of all 4 and then tried my best to kind of get them here into Photoshop and line them up. I have no idea if this is going to actually work. So scan QR code, put it up on the screen. And no success. I think I need to do a better job at merging all of these together. I had 2 of them around the wrong way. So it might be... Oh, these don't line up whatsoever. Oh, God. No, then that one doesn't line up at all. Oh, look at the cow. That's all over the place. So these 2 line up well, if I could get the scaling of them correct. But it's really, really hard to do so in MX bikes. So let's start like that, actually. So let's get the scaling of these correct so it all lines up properly. So that gets to about there. And then after that, what do I do after that? Ah, okay. And that goes to there. So how how much do I have to change the size of that then? It goes there a little bit. Nice. And then this one should be the final one. So I had it all at completely the wrong angle. We've done a bit of switching around. Then that merges into there. That's much closer. Make that a bit smaller. Smaller again. And that goes up one. No, there you go. And then move that in a little bit to about there. Is this gonna work now? We'll try. We'll try again. Okay, so we'll go to QR code. So, haha! There we go. Open link. It takes me to a Mega Drive file. Belmoto 10 Omega Norms. Norms code do make some good stuff. Let's have a load of that and see what that looks like in game. Yes, solution found. Oh, lovely stuff. All right, so I got the link on my phone. I sent the link to my own private channel in my Discord, and then I clicked that link on my PC, and then it didn't ask for an encryption code. So I think we got a brand new helmet here, which would be quite cool. Let's get this loaded up in game. Can't show it off in game, unfortunately. To me, it looks like they are a bunch of skins for a helmet that I do not have. I believe it's the paid ones, because if I just drag and drop it into my game and I have a look at like my Belmoto 10s, for example, those particular skins aren't showing up here. So it's not the end of the world. It is what it is. It's life goes on. But cool that there's a nice little Easter egg in there regardless. And if there is something that I've done wrong there, then by all means, Turboy is involved in making it. Do let me know down below. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you again, Itchy, for a very fun track and a nice little Easter egg hunt at the end. And if you enjoyed this video, by all means, please do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, all of that lovely stuff. And I will see you all in the next video.